Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
We're live, Mike.
What up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from both the west side of San Antonio and also West Bexar County. My name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. Joe is at his studio. I am home right now. Joe, my mouth hurts right now.
Somebody hit you with the chancla.
Oh, I had dental work done today, right?
Okay.
And I was telling you that they took me in late, so I was like, man, I got to rush into the show. But I texted you at 9:53 saying, they're done with my teeth. I can now go home or go to your house to do the show. So I just raced home to do the show. But, Joe, it's weird because my girlfriend is a dental hygienist, right? She cleans teeth for a living. Makes a good living doing it, Joe. You can't be dating a dental hygienist with jacked up teeth, right? Kind of like how I do finance, and I can't have a girl with bad finances. You can't have that, dude. So apologies to everybody. How you doing today, Joe?
Doing good, man. Tired, man. I had a long evening. I was out there at that work event, and basically they were just, my bosses and stuff. They came into town. They flew in, and they had all the people that work for the company here in San Antonio go out to the Stoneworks Bar and Grill over there on Bassie.
Yeah.
So it was just an event, just to everybody, like to sit down and meet everybody and say hi and all that. So it was just, us BSing, and they just paid for all our food, all our drinks, had a couple old fashions, It was
Couple
nice.
old fashions. They're good over there at Stoneworks, man.
Yeah, it's a different. I felt out of place there, man. I was on Bassie Road. I was like in the white people part of town. It's like, I don't know, man.
Stoneworks is a good place for a first date, dude. I've had many a first date at Stoneworks, and some crazy ones, some tall tales that I don't want to get into. Maybe I'll get into later on.
God.
some tall tales about it all. You want me to tell one, Joe? Want me to tell one tall tale from
Oh,
Stoneworks?
no. Here we go.
Okay, so two tall tales from Stoneworks, actually. First date, met a girl. God, this was 10, 15 years ago, right? Met a girl there, met her online. We went to Stoneworks. This is the one on the rim, right?
Yeah.
She shows up and tells me that she's been drunk while at work and she delivers babies for a living. It's an OB-GYN, right? Or OB, whatever. And very hot, very attractive. But she's telling me, yeah, she goes, oh, yeah, I know the fathers check me out and all this stuff. And it was just the weirdest conversation that went nowhere. She told me one time that she delivered a baby on the South Side after being called out of a club, that she was clubbing with her girlfriends in 5-inch heels, and that she had to race to the hospital, that she smelled like a club, the cigarette smoke and all that stuff, that she had to clean up and all that, and then in 5-inch heels, she delivered a baby, and that she was buzzed the entire time. So that was one date over at Stoneworks. Another date that I had at Stoneworks, also right around the same time, is a girl who looked at me. I swear to you, Joe, looked at me and goes, "Not interested." I was like, "Damn, dude! You saw me for like 3 seconds, going, not interested." And I said, "Well, I had ordered you a drink because you had texted me that you wanted a drink, so here's your drink, right?" And she goes, "I just want you to know you're not my type, not interested, yada, yada, yada." I was like, "All right, cool." She sat there, was a complete B for about 3 minutes, finished her drink, and then she goes, "So are we leaving?" I'm like, "What the hell?" She goes, "I got needs."
Oh.
Didn't fulfill the needs. But yeah, man, Stoneworks, that's was my go-to back in the day for first dates.
Oh my God, dude.
People
Why, Mike?
are making fun of my shit.
Yes, Jeff. Cook.
Why am
Cook.
I lying? What? I'm telling you about 2 bad dates that I have.
Oh.
I didn't say I took either of these ladies home because I didn't. I didn't say that I made out with any of these ladies because I didn't. I had 2 bad dates over at Stoneworks, and those girls were single for a reason.
Yeah, Sith caught a stray last night, man. I thought I was commenting on somebody else's tweet, and I put on Sith. He was saying not Charles Bass. He was saying Harrison Barnes, they're not booing him tonight, Joe. And I went to comment on somebody else's, and I tell him, "You're a like Zach Collins jock sniffer still. Me, me, me and Leha stand on business. F booty crumbs."
That's funny.
And I didn't delete the comment. I left it there so everybody could have fun with it.
So people are already making fun of me on the chat right now, saying Mike always turns down chicks in his stories. No, one of them turned me down. The other one, I don't know, was just bragging, dude. She was just completely bragging. Dating sucks, man. I just let you know, dating sucks. Find a girl, be happy, make her happy, and just be done with it, dude. That's just basically it.
They said somebody in here had a comment and made me laugh. They put, "Mike doesn't date poor chicks."
Well, I'm thinking about it.
This one is a good one too. And I showed her my point guard skills on our first date at Stoneworks in the parking lot.
Drew Show with a $5.47 super chat coming in saying, "Mr. Jimenez is trying to give Pecos Bill a run for the Dust Devil as the king of Texas Tall Tales. I don't believe this because nobody turns down sex." Dude, I was so turned off by that girl. Like, I mean, think about it, Joe. She literally sat down. So we were texting each other, right? Hey, I'm 5 minutes late, whatever the case may be, right? She's texting me, "Can you order me a whatever, martini, whatever it was?" I ordered her a martini. She sat down, looked at me for 1 second, was like, "Not interested." Nope.
And what does Leha say? He goes, "Fuck it, Joe went off on Seth all random." Hey, what did we say, Leha? F your feelings. Only chaos, man.
Only chaos, baby. Only chaos.
He caught a stray last night. It's all good, man. Poor girl. SA girls and finance professionals like me don't mix. Oh my God, this is another good one. Dating sucks when you're better than everyone, Mike. Hef is already watching. He's gonna have some fuel for the fire later on. Probably right now. I wouldn't doubt it.
Why is that?
Because you know how he is. He likes to cook you while the show is going. All of a sudden, we look on Twitter, and it's like, there we go. And
Yeah.
Jeff's like, cook.
No, dude. I mean, there are dating horror stories, Joe. And I know you've been with your wife for how long? How long y'all been together?
20-something years, bro.
20-something years. So it's been a while since you've been in the dating world, right? I mean, I remember I went on a date one time 25 years ago, and the ex-boyfriend followed us wherever we went. Like, went to a restaurant, sat at a table next to us, went to the movies, went to the same theater, followed us the entire night. So I have some dating stories that are kind of funny, dude. I mean, they're not all winners, dude. I don't always get the girl at the end, dude. Sometimes I get eviscerated and turned down, man. It happens, dude. I have a decent batting average, but I don't bat 1,000.
Look at Mario Cavazos. Mike, your drip looks like Mr. Potato Head today.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about this real fast. Part of being, getting divorced again and having a girlfriend and all that stuff is you got to change your style a little bit, right? This is Johnston and Murphy. You know, I got the Johnston and Murphy 3/4, right? I've got the Adiot jeans going. I got new kicks, you know. Kicks to raise my leg up. I was too ambitious with that kick, by the way.
You pull the hamstring. You're gonna pull the meat off the bone.
Okay, got the new kicks. You know.
Oh my god, dude!
It matches. You see.
Look at Jeff. He's saying, Mike, was this before or after you allegedly dated a stripper?
That was after. The alleged dating of the stripper happened when I was probably 21, 22. It happened. Again, I did not know she's a stripper. So those of you who are new to the show and Michael's Tall Tales, which, by the way, the funny thing about the Tall Tales is that they're all true. You all just don't believe them. I just have weird stories from back in the day. I went out with a girl for about, 3 or 4 weeks or so, not knowing that she was a stripper. This was back in the day, back when I was at Texas State. I didn't know. I just didn't know. She never told me. She's like, I work for my parents. She did work for her parents, but at night, she worked for Giorgio.
Oh,
Giorgio's on 410 in Callahan, dude. That's how you know I'm not lying, dude. Because I could have, if I was like, oh yeah, she worked over at PT's, or she worked over at All Stars, or she worked over at Wild Zebra. Those would all be lies, dude. She worked at Giorgio's next to the Popeyes, okay? She was cute, but she wasn't that hot. I mean, she was all right. She was pretty hot. She was cute.
The stripper was back when Jimenez could dunk.
Never could dunk. The highest I ever got was like the third loop on the net.
Oh gosh, man. You know what? We're gonna finally get into some sports talk here.
Oh, why? Why do we need to talk sports?
Because
maybe we need to pull a page from Mike Taylor, Rudy J. Just go the whole show without sports. Just be dudes.
Nah, man. I want to talk about the Spurs because the Spurs don't call it a comeback, man. They're on a win streak right now. Without Wemby.
The Spurs record right now, I don't care what the standings say. The standings say right now what the Spurs are 8-8. I'm calling bullcrap on that. They have a winning record. They're 6-5. This version of the Spurs is 6-5 because that is the record Mitch Johnson is as head coach of the Spurs. The 2-3 start doesn't matter. The first 5 games of the season with Pop don't matter because Mitch Johnson is doing things differently. This is his team, and Joe, he ain't giving the team back. I'm sorry, this is his team.
What's he saying? I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now. And I know they beat a bad Utah team, but think about it. They beat a Utah team. They've won back-to-back games without Victor Wembanyama, without Jeremy Sochan, without Devin Vassell. You had a banged-up Chris Paul, and they were down double digits yesterday, and they came back to win the game. And you see players that are stepping up. Charles Bassey stepping up. 6 blocks, Joe. 6 blocks for Charles Bassey. You see other players step up, like, I don't know, Stephon Castle having himself a day. Harrison Barnes. Dude, there was one play in the fourth quarter. Harrison Barnes throws up a desperation three-pointer on the right side corner right by the Spurs bench. And you see all the Spurs just stand up, hoping that it goes in. It goes in, nothing but net. The joy that you saw on Victor Wembanyama's face was something I hadn't seen before. And it's because the team is back at 500. There was joy in his face, like there's a pulse to this team. There's reasons for optimism. Reasons for optimism. Matt Lambert coming out goes, this has been a pretty good punt so far, huh, Mike? You know what, Matt? Let me ask you a question, Matt. You're a huge Spurs fan. What's the Spurs record right now with Pop as head coach? Because if you believe they're 8-8, you're wrong.
So it's not a flip-flop?
No, it's a change. It's a change based on what is now. Would I have expected wins without Wemby? No. That is where Matt is right. But if you tell me that the Spurs would have been 8-8 with Pop, you're fooling yourself. This team is getting going because it's been infused with new blood, and the culture's changing. The culture's getting younger, and it's because Mitch Johnson is right there. It's because Mitch Johnson's more intense. He's calling the timeouts at the right time. He's doing different types of lineups. He's pumping these players up. He's celebrating with them. He's getting on them. He's doing the right things. Mitch Johnson is showing that he is an NBA coach, and we better not F this up as a franchise. We better wrap our arms around this guy and give him the keys. Because if I hear Pop is coming back for another season next year, I'm just gonna not even watch next year. It's time to move on, and that's probably the case, right?
He brings up a good point. He said it would be the same record. You can't prove otherwise.
No, you can't prove otherwise. You can't prove otherwise. You can't prove otherwise because the Spurs were not playing the same. It's almost like it was a night and day difference. It's almost like a switch went off, right? Didn't the lights suddenly turn on when Mitch Johnson got on the bench? It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. You know, I'll give you an example here. My personal life, I have a financial practice, right? My financial practice took off. It was always successful, but it took off the day that San Antonio Sportscast laid me off, right? It's not a coincidence. It's a change of scenery. It's a change of attitude. It's a change of everything. Things change. And Pop was detrimental to this team growing and becoming a better team. He was. And there are a lot of Pop stands out there who don't ever want to hear that because, again, you know, he's infallible, right? He's the GOAT. He's infallible. No, you need a young coach for a youth movement. The Spurs are getting that. Mitch Johnson, Joe, is 6-5 as head coach of this team, which is not very talented.
Look at
he is 2-0 with this team. 2-0 without Wemby. JHNSB reaches out to us on our YouTube stream saying the heart says Pop, but the mind says Mitch.
And look
my
at
mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. That's right. We're doing some R. Kelly in this house.
Look at Leha. He says it's almost like they're playing for Pop.
It's almost like they're playing for Mitch.
Oh God, you can't give Pop no credit here, man.
All right, who put down Spurs seem different? Chris Gonzalez. Spurs seem different. It is true. They're not playing for Pop. And don't be wrong. Pop is an all-time great. He's on the Mount Rushmore of all season. Of all time. Mount Rushmore of all time. But the keys to the car need to be given to a younger coach.
Coach Pop is the brains, Tony Ornelas is saying. Mitch Johnson has the looks and is brainwashing Mike because he is a nugget.
Is Mitch Johnson a nugget? Okay.
Look at we got already a 199 super chat coming in here. Mario Cavasso says, Puro pinche Spurs a la verga. Un grito for the Spurs. You paying for it, brother. We're going to have to do it, man. You go, Mike. I know you hate it. It's too.
He paid for it. I ain't mad at it.
A mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
All right, right, let's cut that drunk man off. Spurs have won 4 out of 6 games. Back at 500. Mitch Johnson 6-5 as head coach. Asking the question, was this a punt? It's still a punt season. It's still a punt season because Chris Paul's not going to be there next year, right? But again, what did we say, Joe, when the season started? That we understand the mentality that this was a developmental year where you're going to be coached differently on the court, and that's why they brought in Harrison Barnes. That's why they brought in Chris Paul. Okay, it was a punt because they didn't go all in. The Jerry Jones, we're going to go all in. They didn't do that. They ain't doing that. What do? They brought in player coaches, and they said, we're going to have a developmental year, but it's going to be a development year where we're going to focus on Castle, and we're going to focus on Sochan. But Sochan goes down with an injury. Hey, Joe, Spurs have a better record with Sochan or without?
Right now, it's without because he's not playing. He's injured. You know what the team is doing, though?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll let you finish. I'm like Kanye West. I'll let you finish. But let me just complete my thought. It's almost like offensive efficiency matters, Joe, more than defense.
It does matter and to an extent, but I think what's happening with this Spurs team is you're seeing this, other players getting some shine, getting some minutes, and they're making the most out of the minutes they're given, especially Charles Bassey. Charles Bassey, I think he should be starting over Collins. I don't care what kind of production Collins puts up. To me, when you're looking out there in the court, you're seeing more energy. You're seeing Bassey just play at a different level. The brother had like 6 blocks last night. Like, come on, man. Zach Collins could never think of that. I don't care if he's shooting the ball a little better. He's still booty crumbs, man. You can't convince me otherwise. He's a detriment to the team. I think the team plays better when Bassey's out there in the lineup. And you know what else proves that? Their record right now without Wemby, without Vassell. They don't have Sochan. This team is still finding ways to win. If you're a Spurs fan, you should be excited about this because this shows growth out of your team. I even said that before the game yesterday. I said, Spurs fans, if this team wins again today, they took a leap. And sure enough, they won last night, and that shows that leap that they're taking as a whole. This team's showing that they got grit, that they're playing with some ganas, not wimpy ganas. They're playing with some ganas out there.
They're playing with some heart. Chris Lighthearted reaches out to us on our YouTube stream saying, ain't playing for pop. Dog doesn't know how sports work. When a player coach goes down, they always play harder. Pause. Sith saying, Mitch has the bums on the bench winning for us. Love you, Coach Pop. But it's time to enjoy life off the team. Someone get him a bird. Big Sean PD coming at and says, I have to agree with Mike on this. They have more grit with Mitch. Again, last night the Spurs beat the Jazz 126-118 to get back to 500, 8-8 record. Who would have thought? Big games last night from Harrison Barnes, man. Harrison Barnes with back-to-back big games. 25 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of 5 from 3, including that big dagger on the right corner at the end of the fourth quarter. Zach Collins, booty crumbs, 18 points as starting. Dude, he got so bad. Look at the look on your face, Joe. Man. Booty crumbs goes off for 18 points, and you get pissed. 6 of 9 shooting.
I've seen enough out of that, man, to tell me, man, it won't be long now. The wheel's about to fall off that motherfucker, dude.
Julian Champagne, 14 points, 6 assists. Not a great shooting night, but he did 6 assists, which is something he typically does not do. Chris Paul, 13 points, 10 assists. Knocked down a very big three-pointer at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Keldon Johnson with 12. Charles Bassey with 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 blocks in 27 minutes. Trey Jones, 11 points. I'm adding it all up. That is 8 players in double figures for the Spurs. You also have the fact that Stephon Castle went off for 18 points and 6 assists. Stephon Castle now averaging more than 10 points per game. It's the first time this season that his points per game has exceeded 10, and he's now one of 7 rookies in the NBA this year that's averaging double figures.
You got a new listener here right now,
Trevor Schultz. What's going on, Trevor?
And look at what he says. Trash take, recency bias. He says, it's almost like we have a young team that is working on chemistry and getting their legs underneath them. Not everybody on this team that's playing right now is young anymore. You can't classify them as rookies because they've been in this league and playing with the Spurs for more than just 1 or 2 years already.
I know Keldon Johnson's been around for 5 years. Harrison Barnes is a veteran. Even Trey Jones has a few years under his belt. You have welcome to the chat, by the way. We appreciate you, and please spread the word that we do this every Monday through Friday, 10 to 11:30.
Antonio Ornelas. Spurs are nasty with Pop, but Mitch brings the cochino nasty that Mike likes.
Well, I'm going back, Joe, to a comment on our YouTube stream. So we posted, we post this on, it's live, and then we repost it later on in the day, right? There was somebody who left a comment on YouTube, not on our live stream, but just like a regular YouTube.
Rewatch. Yeah.
Saying something to the effect of, you got to let them cook, and that the starting lineup should be Wemby at 5 with Sochan, Champagnie, Vassell, and Chris Paul. And what we had learned is that the analytics have come out, 10, 12, 15 games worth of analytics that have come out that suggests that the best Spurs lineup when it comes to comparing offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency, the best lineup is CP3, Stephon Castle, Champagnie, Wemby, and Barnes. The two names out are Vassell and Sochan. And someone reached out to us and said, well, no, you should have these other 5 players. You should have Vassell and Sochan out there with Champagnie and Barnes and CP3. But the thing is that just because they're your 5 best players, your 5 most talented players, doesn't mean that they collectively work well together.
They don't have that chemistry on the court.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. I mean, you look at the U.S. Olympic team, right?
Yeah.
For so many years, the Olympic team was all about getting the 12 best players in the NBA who are willing to go.
Yeah, we got a 99 super chat as well.
And then what we realized that we needed players like a Middleton. We needed players like a Draymond Green, a Keldon Johnson,
balance,
to balance it out, to people who know their role.
You just can't have superstars out there on the court because it doesn't mix well. You got to get
right.
Yeah.
And the 5 most talented Spurs don't mix. They don't. And it's weird because for so often I've been going after Sochan for offensive inefficiency. Now you're looking at it and Vassell's name pops up as, hey, he's not efficient either when he's out there on the court with Wemby. Maybe, just maybe, that not only Sochan doesn't fit well with Wemby, maybe Vassell doesn't. And now you have the emergence, Joe, of Stephon Castle. The number 1 priority on this team, and this is why I like Mitch Johnson so much so far, is that he understands that the whole team goes through Wemby. None of this, let's get everybody involved. None of this, let's get Sochan his 15 shots per game, which why he'd be shooting 15 times per game, I don't understand. Not, hey, we got to set up Harrison Barnes. It's no, everybody know your role. We have the superstar Wemby. We get Wemby the ball. He shoots the ball 20 times, minimum. And then we know that we get 2 players out there who can shoot threes. Champagnie, Barnes. Boom, boom. You've surrounded him with 2 consistent shooters. Now we need 2 playmakers. We have CP3 and you have Castle. That's why it works, Joe.
Yeah.
And Vassell wants his shots. And who's going to take the shots from? He's going to take the shots from Wemby. Yeah. And then Sochan is a black hole offensively down there playing volleyball with himself at the 5-foot mark. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, we got the incoming super chat I got to read here from Mario Cavazos. He's putting, Coach Pop will be coming back singing Take Time with the Wounded Hand because it likes to heal. I like to heal. I'm half the man I used to be.
Very nice. Doing it. STP's creep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Leja's all -8 and plus minus. Why do you bring that shit up for players you want to shit on and not everyone? He goes, F booty crumbs.
Was that his plus minus yesterday? Yeah. -8?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Castle is showing day in and day out, man. Day in and day out, he's showing that he belongs as a starter. And when Vassell comes back from injury, when Sochan comes back from injury, tell me, Joe, you could start one of these players. Castle, Sochan, Vassell, and you can only start one of them. Who do you want out there?
Yeah. Again, who was it? Castle, Vassell.
Castle, Vassell, or Sochan. Who do you want
Castle, man.
starting?
You know it's gonna be Castle, bro.
The ceiling is higher because what do we know about Vassell? Devin Vassell, who I'm a fan of. Okay, I've called him my son. Followed him at Florida State when he and Patrick Williams played at Florida State. James Pledger and I at San Antonio Sportscast used to love watching Vassell play, and we rejoiced when the Spurs got him in the first round at number 11, I think, a few years ago. Vassell's floor is really high, right? He's a good player. Right? He's going to average 17 to 19 points per game no matter where he goes. 17 to 19 points per game. Gonna do it. He's high volume. He's a decent three-point shooter. He'll never be an all-star. And Spurs fans have gotten so pissed off at me over the years when I've pointed that out. He's a very good player. Never going to be an all-star. Doesn't matter what team he goes on. He will never be an all-star, and Vassell gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, Bassie is a role player. He's a role player, and he plays his role very well.
Know your role, right? Now, here's the thing. Sochan, I'm going to let you all know a little secret here on Sochan. Never will be an all-star. He's going to have a long career. And he's going to be really good for a really good team one day. But he's never going to be an all-star. But you look at Stephon Castle. That guy is special. He's 19 years old. Joe, when was the last time we saw a 19-year-old? Even Wemby last year when he was 19.
Last 19-year-old that I know for the Spurs that showed this much promise was Tony Parker.
Yeah. But here's the thing about Parker. Parker needed about 3 or 4 months to warm up. Even Wemby last year didn't get going until mid-January. Right?
But Parker had it worse because Coach Pop would just
yank him. Just yank him.
Get in his face and yell at him. What's wrong with you, you stupid MF? He would be all mad because he missed an assignment. He didn't pass the ball where he needed. So he would get into him, dude. And Coach Pop says he feels bad, but I mean, it made him a better player.
Sean reaches out to us in our YouTube stream saying that the record with Pop would be the same is crazy. He was only consistent on losing the last few years. In Mitch, I trust. It's different, dude. The lights turned on, man. The lights turned on. They're playing better. Matt Lerma saying Mike thinks we're dumb. No, I don't think you're dumb. I think I'm right. Two different things. The lights turned on, Joe. And now we went, because this team was a 25-win team with Pop. It's going to be a 35-win team with Mitch, dude.
I like how you say that the lights turned on like, the last call for alcohol, and then it's like, you all got to go.
Dude, and it's so funny, Joe, because, you said this, dude. You said this. You articulated this. Jesus. Jesse A. Sochan is NBA Angel Reese. That's the most accurate thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Dude.
I did enjoy watching Sochan on the bench yesterday because he went from having those, big medallion diamond chains to wearing a North Face puffer jacket yesterday. He slummed out for us yesterday. Oh my goodness.
Our new listener here, new viewer, Trevor Schultz. Thanks for the comment, by the way.
I appreciate it because we're still at the bottom of the league as far as age, and having so many players in and out of the lineup is bound to cause chemistry problems. They're figuring it out. You're right. I mean, that is, as TLC said in the 90s, actual and factual. The thing is that I think they're being inspired in a different way. I think the intensity is different. And it's just different, man. It's different under Mitch Johnson. You can see it. And I love watching him on the sidelines. I've been to 2 Spurs games in the last 3 weeks where you see him patrol up and down the court. There's an intensity there. I've brought it up several times. He calls a timeout. He goes to the players. He doesn't ask the players to come to him. He goes to the players. He's not out there babysitting. He's out there coaching. And you see, dude, I swear to you, Joe, Chris Paul is more in tune with Mitch Johnson. I swear to you that he is.
He's not looking like, oh, pick up the ball. He's just like,
dude, when I saw that, dude, remember? I tweeted it the second it happened. Chris Paul refused to pick up the ball, and Pop is in his ear screaming, pick it up, start the play. And CP3 just blew him off. I have not seen CP3 blow off Mitch because, again, you look at the young coaches in the league, whether they be Joe Mazzulla or Ime Udoka or whomever. It's a young man's game. And I love seeing a young head coach out there
Mitch
for the
yelling
Spurs.
at CP3, Sochan, or not Sochan, or Stephon Castle when they're letting the ball just roll down the court. He's not
Yeah.
screaming, pick up the ball, pick up the ball. He's just letting them do what they do, man. That's who they are. That's how they play, And
$2
look,
super chat coming in.
Yeah.
From Drew Show saying Cavazos with the Alice in Chains diss. Savage grito, man. Oh my goodness. What was the Alice in Chains?
Oh, it
Well,
was
you better not be dissing Rooster.
we got to play the grito for him.
That was me last night after the Spurs went back to 500, man. I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. I was excited, baby. Chris Gonzalez on our YouTube stream saying, I gave Mitch a letter grade of a B the other night. Now get the red pen out and make it an A+. Matt Laramie has been invited to the BTB All-Stars event, but whatever, Joe. He was also the last person invited, and it was kind of like after other people had said no. So let's not say that he was the first person taken. Taco Tuesday with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Keeping the lights on. Saying, I agree. I like what Mitch is doing, and I agree that Sochan should play on the bench, not because he's a bad player, but because of fit. However, the future backcourt is Castle and Vassell. Chancla. He wants the chancla. He's throwing the chancla at himself, apparently.
All right. There goes
Here it is. We're all allowed to flip-flop every once in a while, man. And Matt, you stick to your guns. Matt Laramie, you stick to your guns. You're allowed to flip-flop too, dude. Okay? Sometimes I do it proudly. Sometimes I just pretend like it never happened.
And we love us some Matt Lerma, man. He's a good guy. I appreciate everything that he does, too. He does a good Spurs Spaces right after the games as well, which we're a sponsor of. So make sure you go and check that out over at Matt Lerma's X.
Oh, dude, it's been great, dude. It's been great watching Castle develop. We've been asked, dude. I mean, us with Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Remember, all summer long, is Vassell the Robin to Wemby's Batman? Right, that was the whole debate. Right, do we have one here? Do we need to get a Lauri Markkanen? Do we need to get a Trae Young? Do we need to get a whatever? We have the Robin already. His name is Stephon Castle. By the way, Joe, this is not a flip-flop. Who was the guy talking about Castle in December of last year, January of last year? Who was on Locked On Spurs in February and March and April of last year saying Stephon Castle? Sean Quintero, by the way, who's saying hit the like button. He knows this because for months I kept on saying the Spurs need that guy right there.
Stephon Castle.
Mario Cavazos saying bougie Mike with the Johnson and Murphy fit. I'm going to bar 1919 tomorrow. Can I borrow some of your clothes? So that's been my go-to, dude. I've probably bought like 5 outfits from Johnson and Murphy and like 2 pairs of shoes from there in the last month or so. Just reinventing myself. Joe, I'm like a butterfly, Joe.
Oh, God.
I became a caterpillar, depressed after going through a divorce. But then I got a hot girlfriend and I became a beautiful butterfly all over again. What can I say? Joe doesn't like me being called a butterfly, but it is what it is.
Butterfly.
Tony Ronaldo comes out and says his favorite lineup would be CP3, Castle, Vassell, Wemby, and Bassie. Say this is not a great lineup. Well, here's what Bassie is bringing. I don't think Bassie could start on this team. I don't think Bassie can be a guy getting you consistently 25 to 30 minutes, right? But what you can get from Bassie is 15 minutes of go F things up in a good way, right? Like remember the cartoon, Joe, back in the day, the Looney Tunes, the Tasmanian Devil?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, that's that. I want that to be the new nickname for Charles Bassie. Just remember Tasmanian? Just going around, just wrecking shit. That's what I think Charles Bassey is a Tasmanian devil. Because that guy is just, I mean, dude, he plays ball like he's on cocaine. I mean, I'm saying that in a good way. He's just all over the place. Have you ever seen a musician on coke? Right? They take coke in the middle of the show.
They've all been on the drugs when making their albums, man.
And they're all, but actually on stage, you could tell they just took coke.
Oh, man.
I'm not saying that Bassey's on coke. I'm not saying that Bassey's on coke. But what I'm saying is that you cannot keep that intensity for 82 games for 30 minutes a game. Keep that intensity for 82 games at 12 to 15 minutes per game, and I'd be happy. Lots of comments coming in, dude.
We got another new one coming in here from Pete Garcia. Thank you for joining the show. He says, do we start the trade Vassell and Sochan talk yet, or did I miss it?
Yeah, we did. We have. Pete, welcome. Pete's new, right? Is Pete new?
New, man.
Okay, hey, tell all your friends, man. Tell all your friends all about us. Tell your coworkers. We talk about, and we're talking all about Spurs, right? Because ain't nothing to talk about the Cowboys, right? Cowboy talk is out the window. Spurs are 500. Hallelujah. Let's talk about the Spurs.
Jesse A. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Man, this show's going off the rails quick, dude. Every time we start talking about Spurs or you start giving your takes, it's like the chat goes crazy with everybody either agreeing, disagreeing. It's fun, man.
Do you think Matt Lerma likes my takes secretly?
No, I think it really makes him upset. And there's Alex Noriega, your friend of the show here, friend of you, Mike.
Yeah.
He goes, true friends make it to a UTSA tailgate at least once a season.
I was going to go, but my daughter needs me to pick her up in Baton Rouge, man.
True friends don't blow off UTSA tickets with pals, Mike.
You think with pals, and I think of the movie Young Guns. When Emilio Estevez' character talking about, we're pals. That's great. Saying he's never done cocaine. He just sniffed it once. One of my favorite lines of those movies is like, does this smell like chloroform to you?
Look at this, Tex-Mex Frank. Only in San Antonio will a sports show host throw a basketball, saca la bolsita, player style statement. Mike is singing, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mike is singing, I'm a butterfly in the sky. I can fly twice as high. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, God, man. Look at that. I think JHNSB loves your takes and agrees.
All right, so let's talk about Zach Collins, man. Let's go player by player on some of this, right? Zach Collins averaging 7.7 points per game. Joe, I hate to say this, Joe, he's shooting 52% from the field. Joe, I hate to say it, he's having a decent season.
He is.
Is he booty crumbs, Joe?
He's still booty crumbs unless he shows me some consistency. And by that, I mean he's doing this every single game. You know, for the next 6 games, I'll take away the acronym booty crumbs.
Can I give you Zach Collins' stats the last 3 games?
Yeah, you can.
20 points, 12 and 18. All right, so that's an average of 16.7. That's calculated in my head, 16.7. He has shot 17 of 29 the last 3 games, dude. That's like almost 60%.
Yeah.
So, Joe, can we at least give him a round of applause for this past week, especially in Wemby's absence?
No.
Dude, if I had told you, Joe, come on, Joe. If I had told you that in Wemby's absence, in about 22, 23 minutes per game, that Zach Collins was going to go out there and score 16 points a game on 60% shooting and get about 6 to 7 rebounds per game, you wouldn't have been happy with that?
No. I mean, he's just booty crumbs, bro. What
does he need to do?
He's going to show you his true colors. And what his true colors are is inconsistency and messing shit up out on the court when you get the team back healthy and at full strength. He's going to show you and revert back to the booty crumb style of basketball.
Dude, as a bench player, the 4 games before he was put into the starting lineup, 5, 3, 5, and 6 points. He's a starter, 20, 12, and 18. The lights turned on for him. I don't know, man. So I'm going to say that Booty Crumbs is less of a booty crumb right now. So
He's a skid
you got
mark.
to give him some love.
He's not a booty crumb. He's a skid mark.
There you go. Keldon Johnson's
Oh.
is a hard one to kind of decipher right now. 12 points last night, 4 of 9 shooting, missed all 3-point attempts. Keldon Johnson's either on fire. Keldon Johnson's either throbbing or he's ice cold. Joe, we haven't used the word throbbing in a while.
God.
Nobody was really throbbing. I mean, Harrison Barnes was the closest person to throbbing. We need to have the throbber of the night. And for those of you who don't know what throbbing means, that are new to the show, because we have some newbies to the show, we talked about this last week. Remember back in the day when you were playing NBA Jam or NBA 2K or those video games, and when your player was on fire, he'd shoot the ball and smoke would come out, and the star or the circle underneath the player would start vibrating? That's throbbing. That's what that means.
We do got some breaking news here that Sith just shared with us, man.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, but I didn't know if it was true or not.
It's true, man.
Breaking news is that the New York Giants have
released
Daniel Jones, quarterback, who makes $40 million a year with that team. It was upon the request of Daniel Jones. So what does this mean, Joe? Who are the Giants going to be in the market for? They're going to be in the market for a quarterback this offseason.
Yeah, man.
Daniel Jones was benched and not only made backup QB2 when he was benched earlier this week, he was made QB3. Daniel Jones, here's the thing, man. We've seen certain quarterbacks out there like Sam Darnold now with Minnesota who have revived their career elsewhere. We've seen players like Geno Smith, who goes to Seattle, revive his career. Baker Mayfield leaving Cleveland, going to Tampa, revive his career. Because sometimes it's not the right fit. I am not ready to say that Daniel Jones sucks. I think the Giants organization sucks, and that there's going to be a team out there that's going to take a look at the skill set that Daniel Jones has and will want to work with him, either as an elite backup or a low-end starter. Daniel Jones has wheels, Joe. He can run. Daniel Jones, I know he's a white guy, but that white boy can run. He has a decent arm. I think it was a bad fit, and they got rid of Saquon Barkley. They got rid of his best weapon, who's balling out for Philadelphia right now. So I'm not going to blame Daniel Jones for this, not at all. They gave him that money for reasons because they saw promise, right? Or is he just a bust, Joe?
He's a bust, bro. He's a bust, man. He just never lived up to the billing. After they paid him and he got his money, he was just not a good quarterback. And unfortunately for the Giants, it was a waste of money, waste of time. And for the fan base there too, you feel bad for them because they haven't seen this team do much of anything for quite some time, just like Cowboy fan.
Now, right now, the Giants have a 2-8 record. In fact, there are 4 teams right now that have just 2 wins. You have the Raiders, the Giants, and the Titans at 2-8. Jacksonville is at 2-9. If the season was to end right now, the New York Giants would have the number 3 pick in the draft. And according to Tankathon.com, they're on track to pick former UIW Cardinal standout Cam Ward, who is balling out right now for the University of Miami.
That kid is balling out, man. Yeah. You know what? This is what Sam Salinas is putting in here. He goes, why do teams always release patronizing statements? I want to see a team finally say something along the lines of, we cut his ass. He sucked. Good riddance. Oh, God. I hope not. Chris Gonzalez, Daniel Jones to the Cowboys. You know Jerry. Jerry's going to Jerry.
He's better than Cooper Rush. That's for sure. So here's the thing about Daniel Jones. Here's his career right now. I'm looking at his stats. He was drafted in 2019. Dude, he played 6 seasons with the Giants. Why does it seem like it's only been 3? His rookie season, he had 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Subsequent years, 11, 10, 10, 7. In 2022, he had 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But over the course of the last 2 seasons, he has had more INTs than touchdown passes. Last 2 seasons, 13 interceptions compared to 10 touchdowns. He has regressed, but it's one of those things where did he regress because he got worse, or did he regress because the players around him got worse? Look at Dak Prescott, Joe. Dak Prescott last season was runner-up for MVP. And yeah, a lot of those stats were junk. But the fact of the matter is that he had a better team. He had better players around him, a better offensive line, and he was insulated by a better defense. You take away the weapons of a quarterback, the quarterback can't do anything. A wide receiver is only as good as the quarterback throwing him the ball. A quarterback is only as good as the offensive line in front of him and the weapons around him. Dak Prescott had no running game this year, had nobody other than CeeDee Lamb, had injured tight ends, and had a makeshift offensive line. Of course the Cowboys were going to suck. Daniel Jones, I feel bad for the guy. They did him no favors. It's very reminiscent of what they did to Baker Mayfield in Cleveland.
Man, they did Baker dirty over there, man, with the Browns. That wasn't his fault. They wanted a scapegoat.
Speaking of the Browns, last night got a big win against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That was the Brown style of football that they left to play in the damn snow. You know, there's no roof or anything like that. They're out in the elements. The elements are part of the game, right? And they went ahead and they beat a very good Steelers team. You know, anything can happen.
Well, are they a good Steelers team? The Steelers are now 9-3, right? I mean, they had a Hail Mary potential down the stretch. But if you look at the teams that they have lost to, if you're 9-3, right?
Cowboy.
They've lost to the Cowboys. They lost to the Cleveland Browns. And I believe they lost to the Indianapolis Colts. This is a Steelers team that's not only going to make the playoffs, but more than likely host a playoff game. Think about that. You're 9-3, but your 3 losses are against the 3 worst teams in the NFL. Or 3 of the worst teams in the NFL.
Man, you got to look at Jameis Winston too, man. Jesse A saying, ate that dub. Jameis Winston's found second life here, man, with this Browns team. And this Browns team is playing better with Jameis Winston as the QB than with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is washed, man.
He is. And Deshaun Watson's still in his mid to late 20s, I think.
Yeah, he's got a year left on his contract, so the Browns got to keep him for another year.
Jameis is somebody who plays well against good teams and sucks against bad teams.
This is true.
And Jameis is not the kind of player, and I know this because we saw Jameis Winston's the only quarterback in NFL history to have 30 touchdown passes and 30 interceptions in a single season. Someone's going to catch the ball, the offense or defense. It ain't going to hit the turf. He played backup for Drew Brees, and then he played for the Saints for a little while, filled in for when he was injured. He has a cannon of an arm. He really does.
Man.
Everyone loves him. Everyone loves him. He's just not consistent in anything that he does. And it's almost like I saw a TikTok last night of Jameis Winston's antics yesterday. The guy is like a 30-year-old kid. I honestly think that he only knows football and nothing else. Because he was so giddy yesterday. If you see the video of him yesterday, this montage of him, he was like, "Oh my God, it's snowing!" And he's telling everybody in the locker room, "Everybody, we're on national TV. There's no other game on. Call your mom, call your aunts, call your uncles, call your cousins. Let them know that we're on TV." And he's running up and down, and everyone's just loving him. And he goes onto the field, gets that 2-point conversion down the stretch. They win by a point? So that mattered. It was snowing. It was ugly outside. They couldn't even line up for a 30-yard field goal. It was too dangerous. And then he's doing snow angels after they win.
He's having a good time, man. And you like to see that, dude.
It was partying out there, man.
Fun.
And this is a guy, as Mario Cavazos mentions, I don't think he was stealing steaks. He was stealing crab legs.
Yeah. If
I'm not mistaken. He also was somebody who was very demeaning towards women. I think he was grabby, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly. I might be wrong about that, but there was something about that. When he came into the league, his IQ was probably rocks. He's dumb as rocks. But he could play. There are certain quarterbacks out there, Joe, who are very cerebral. Dak Prescott is a cerebral quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a cerebral quarterback, right? You look at them, you can tell they study the playbook. You can tell that they study film, all that stuff. Jameis Winston gives the appearance of he's just winging it. He's there to have a good time.
He's winging it. Yeah, man, they're cooking you already, dude. Hef is out there leading the charge today.
What did I do wrong?
Oh no, they're making fun of your stories, man. And then Sith in here, he put in a picture which is funny to me, man. I'm gonna share it right now. Because they were saying that your outfit looked like Mr. Potato Head. So he put the potato head out there. But they're quick with this stuff, man. I don't know how they're
Wow. Nice. They put that on Twitter and everything. They are quick with it.
quick with it, man. And Hef is out there doing his thing as well. He's saying about your stories.
Well, let's give some love to Hefe from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give him some love, man. Go ahead and play the soundbite for Locked On Spurs. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
That's right, baby. I do this. I subscribe on YouTube, Spotify. You can also get them on kens5.com, on Apple as well. Locked On Spurs, more than 5,500 subscribers strong. Dude, I'm looking on my phone right now. Jerry Ferrara, he played Turtle on Entourage. The fellas are back together. Drama, Turtle. What was the main character's name? Forgot his name.
Forgot his freaking name, dude.
I know his name in real life. Adrian Grenier.
I don't remember his character's name. Yeah.
Ari, all those guys, right? He was Vince. He was Vinny Chase. They're coming back together, man. They're coming back together. They're doing something. I don't know what it is, Joe. I was a big fan of Entourage back in the day. That was my jam, man. I used to love every single show. I like the very first episode because it has Ali Larder on there as Vince's pissed off girlfriend. That was great. That was great. Who was your favorite character on that show? Did you ever watch it?
I watched a little bit of it. Didn't watch a lot. I did like Turtle. I thought he was funny.
Turtle was great, man. Turtle was that. We all have that one Turtle guy, dude, who never dresses up, who is always looking to make a quick buck. It's like they would make fun of him because they're like, would you get laid if it wasn't for Vince? You getting his castaways, or you getting the ones that he doesn't want? He goes, ask me another question. Ask me if I care.
Yeah. So
Drama's the best character on that show, big time.
Drama is good too. They're asking what's going to be the what do you call it? What's going to be the
schedule for next week?
Because we got Thanksgiving coming up, and I believe Thanksgiving's going to be on the 28th. So
yeah. We need a guest host on Monday.
Yeah, and I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to ask Sith, and I'm going to ask Matt Lerma to come out and do the show with me. So I'm going to be able to do it.
I'll be driving back from Baton Rouge and moving my daughter into her new place. I posted a photo I retweeted rather her tweet about her last day at the Advocate in Baton Rouge. She'll be moving her back. Chris Gonzalez saying victory needs to be a sound drop. Dude, Entourage was so good, man. And it could never be made again, man, because cancel culture and just all that. But I mean, superstars wanted to be on that show. It was a great show. Drew Show says none of the Entourage guys are turning down horny OB-GYNs like Mike. I didn't say that she came on to me. I just said that she was telling tall tales while drinking. She was Buzz telling Buzz stories about her working as an OB-GYN. I don't think I got the vibe that she wanted to hook up. Okay, so Maybe I misread it, but that was it. The other one was just psycho. Subscribe to Locked On Spurs. Also, don't forget MCS General Contracting powers our super chat right here.
Yeah, all the chat that you boys are enjoying is powered by MCS General Contracting, which we're going to go ahead and give them some love as well because they are part of the sponsorship group of our show. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
That Diamond Hard Concrete, man. I'm a customer myself. They did a landing. They did a sidewalk at my house. Did an amazing job. And I liked how Chris Leha and the fellas came by, assessed the situation, and said, Michael, this is what you should do. This is good for drainage. This is going to make your house look better. It's going to make your back porch look better. They did a fantastic job. Highly recommend MCS General Contracting. Joe, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you go on to the page on Twitter of Jacob Toby, who's the announcer of the Spurs, taking over for Bill Land earlier this year. Bill Land, with his health issues, bowed out. Jacob Toby is now the new guy doing the shows or doing the games with Sean Elliott on Bally Sports. Yesterday, Toby, for the second game in a row, wore a bolo tie, Joe. He's posed the question on Twitter, should he continue wearing the bolo tie because the Spurs are 2-0 with him wearing the bolo tie? Again, the Spurs winning both of those games without Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, and Jeremy Sochan. Joe, do you believe in this? Do you think that if he stops wearing the bolo tie, the Spurs might start losing again?
Hey, man, whatever you got to do to keep the team winning, you got to wear that polo tie, man.
Is this kind of like Bull Durham when Nuke was wearing the garter? You remember he was wearing women's lingerie and he was on a hot streak?
Jeez, man. I
remember when he was like when he wasn't having sex with Annie, and he was like, I'll come back and hook up with you after we lose a game. And Kevin Costner's character, Crash Davis, was like, you got to respect it. You know, you got to respect the streak. They're 2-0 with him wearing the bolo tie. You got to keep wearing that bolo tie.
Yeah, I would say just keep rolling with it, man. If it's going to bring the team good luck, I'm all for it. Said Sean Elliott once one too. Like, keep rolling with the bolo tie, man. I'm a fan of it. You know, we do have some news here too. That's coming in from the NBA. I just saw this right now as you were playing some of our segments here. This is news coming in from NBA Central here. It says Western Conference executives believe the NBA could eliminate conferences and have the top 16 teams make the playoffs when the league expands to 32 teams.
Wow.
And one Windhorst.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, we've had some seasons where the West is stronger than the East and vice versa, though the West has been stronger for a long, long time. I wouldn't mind if they stack them because it doesn't matter anymore. It used to be because of travel, but because they all have chartered flights and whatnot, it's not that big of a deal anymore. I wouldn't be against it. What about you, Joe?
I wouldn't be against it either. And this is coming. They have an excerpt here, right, from Adam Silver here. And he's saying, instead of dealing with the thorny competition, West executives told ESPN they believe that both issues can be corrected by dropping conferences altogether and seeding teams 1 through 16, regardless of the geography. The concept has been raised before, but expansion, the thinking goes, would create a reason to take a fresh look. So they said by doing this, it gives the playoffs a fresh look. You know, I think they're trying to do stuff here to kind of inject something new for the fan base here, because let's face it, man, the NBA as it's currently created
It's
in
stale.
the playoffs, it's stale and it gets a bit much because then you have the play-ins and they're like, and players are not a fan of the play-in tourneys, man. They don't like that, you know? So it's just I think this makes more sense, honestly. It's almost like a college football, you know?
We have more breaking news coming in. According to TMZ Sports, this dropped about 9 minutes ago. Former UFC champion, superstar, MMA superstar, Conor McGregor found liable for sexual assault.
Damn.
This was in a civil trial in Ireland. The case had been going on for over a month. A woman there claimed that McGregor and another man forced her to have sex against her will at a Christmas party back in 2018. Says the story is still developing, but he was found guilty in a civil trial.
So what does that mean? Is he going to be seeing some jail time?
Civil trial means he's going to pay up money.
Mm.
At least that's the way it works in the States. I don't know how that works over there. It's not a criminal trial. That was a civil trial.
Wow.
Jesse A. reaches out to us and says, the NFL should do this as well because a 500 division winner shouldn't get a home playoff game. I agree with that, man. Let's just have conferences. I mean, Joe, look at the NBA. Who's in our division? I don't know.
Got Pelicans in our division. Think the Wolves. Yeah.
Remember back in the day, 80s and 90s, the Spurs would hang up the Midwest Division champion banners, right?
Mhm.
And you knew that Dallas, Houston, Denver, and who was the other team was in the division? There was like a 5-team. It was like 30 teams. It was Denver, Houston, Dallas. Who was the other team? Was it Utah?
I think it might have been Utah.
In the same division.
It was way back when. I remember always seeing the shirts over at Academy back in the day when the Spurs would win. Midwest Division champs.
So
Yeah.
division champs don't matter anymore. So why not just make it a conference thing?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're trying to inject some newness, should I say, into the NBA. Yeah, because Tony Ornella says NBA is stale because you have to pay for streaming, bring back free games. Not a lie, man. I mean, see, the thing is that free isn't always free. What I think people kind of misunderstand is that the networks pay for the rights to show these games. So even if it's like on NBC and you're just watching it over the air, NBC is paying for the rights to be able to show or broadcast that game. So somebody's having to pay for it. They're going to probably make the revenue streams back via sponsors or commercials, whatever. That's why it costs so much money to have a 30-second commercial, a 10-second commercial during those segments. You know that they're going to be reaching out to a big number of people. That comes with the price tag. That's why they charge millions of dollars for advertisers to get those, slots.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody pays for it, even though it might be free, someone's paying for it.
Joe, in entertainment news, we might have a new blockbuster because apparently Wicked, the movie Wicked, which is Ariana Grande, is supposedly badass. I
don't know, man. It looks like a musical, dude. I ain't gonna watch.
Well, it's based on a musical.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm not gonna watch.
Apparently, they're saying that it's a lot better than advertised. That they were advertised to be like, hey, this might be pretty good, and now it's coming out, and the reviews are coming out, and they're saying that it's stellar. So I might have to check that out. Might have to check out Wicked. I'm looking forward to Gladiator. Doesn't that come out like in the next week or so?
Now, this is a movie that I've heard from my friends that have already seen it, right? Because they got the screening passes.
Yeah.
They said that this movie is in their top 5 movies of all time. They said that this is movie of the year, that you got to watch this. They said it's so good, man.
We'll see when that gets released. Does that get released this weekend?
I believe it's coming this weekend or next week.
Gladiator 2 release date is going to be today. Directed by Ridley Scott. Dude, the first show at Flix is in 15 minutes, Joe. Let's end this podcast. Let's go to Flix.
There you go. I mean, it's going to be a good movie from what I hear. So you're looking to watch something over the holidays there, man. Maybe go take in some Gladiator. I probably maybe will see it too, I like the first one, but they said the second one is just so much better. We'll see, man.
It's starring Denzel Washington, Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Connie Nielsen coming back. I think Connie Nielsen's beautiful, dude. Connie Nielsen is stunning. I have no idea how old she is, but for the longest time, I thought she's hot.
Yeah.
Again, Paul Mescal stars as Lucius. If you remember the original Gladiator movie that came out in the 90s, Lucius was a little boy who was Commodus's nephew, right? And he survived, apparently, the whole thing. So we shall see. We
Uh,
shall see.
Really, I'm intrigued by Gladiator. Trailers aren't doing it any justice. I know the trailers aren't doing it any justice because I think what they're doing is they're trying to increase the interest for you to go out there and actually see it. But from what I've heard from my friends that have already seen the film, they said it's really good. They said they really did like Denzel's Washington's portrayal of his character. They said he's probably going to be nominated for some type of an award because he was that good. And I've heard that all the acting throughout this film is really on par, and it's like one of these big epic films that you're going to want to see. You know, like this is why movies are made this way. It's a story, a big epic story, you know. So if you're into that kind of stuff, man, go and check it out because I've heard good things so far. We'll see. I'm gonna go watch it for myself. Maybe we'll do a review if Mike gets the chance
Yeah.
to watch it as well. We'll give our take on it.
The NFL is flexing a Thursday game out, man. They kicked out the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns were supposed to play the Cincinnati Bengals towards the end of the year, the week before Christmas, and the NFL said, "Get the hell out of here, man. We don't want you on Thursday. We need a better game." So instead, they said, "Cincinnati, Cleveland, get the F out. We're going to bring in the LA Chargers and Denver Broncos. Congratulations, you're moving to Thursday." What do you think about the NFL doing this now down the stretch where they're like, "Nah, we're good"?
Hey, man, says a lot. They'll be like, "Who are we gonna get?" Nah, man, we're good. Let's put something else in there, man. Put another game on. But you know, the NFL needs to do better too when it comes to Thursday night matchups. They've been basura, man. Garbage.
Yeah.
There's
Lot-
only I'm sorry, I was gonna say there's only several games out of that slot that actually are worth watching. Most of them, you're like, I'll put it on in the background, but are you really watching, you know?
Right. So let's take a look here. Browns beat the Steelers yesterday 24-14. The games for week 12 this week include the Vikings going against the Bears. The Bears have lost two heartbreaking games in recent weeks. Again, they lost to the Packers, blocked field goal attempt to win the game. Vikings are 8-2, still fighting for a top spot in the. What might happen, Joe? The Vikings might have the second best record in the NFC and get the 4 seed because they're behind the Lions who take on the Colts. Lions at 9-1, Colts at 5-6. Patriots on the road taking on the Dolphins. You got the Buccaneers on the road against the Giants who dropped Daniel Jones today. Commanders are a 10.5-point favorite against the Cowboys this weekend in Washington, D.C. The Chiefs, after losing their first game of the season, on the road against a feisty Carolina Panthers team who's showing some signs of life. Titans and Texans in the battle of the teams that once called Houston home. Texans are 7-4 on the season, coming off a big win against the Cowboys with some extra days of rest. Broncos on the road against the Raiders. Broncos at 6-5, hoping to keep pace for the playoff berth. Dude, the Packers 7-3 could basically end the Niners season. The Niners are 5-5, already with a must-win game. Cardinals at 6-4 lead the NFC West, taking on the Seahawks in Seattle. The winner of that game will be in first place. Eagles, Rams. Eagles are 8-2, taking on the Rams, a feisty Rams team. Ravens, Chargers. Monday Night Football. Ravens are 7-4. They beat the good teams and lose to the bad teams, man. Chargers are 7-3, having a good season. Lots of teams on a bye this week, Joe. Usually we have like 2 or 3 teams on a bye. You got the Falcons, the Bills, the Bengals, the Saints, the Jets, and the Jaguars all on a bye.
Yeah, because they're probably gonna play on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Hey,
nice.
you know what? We do have some news here to share as well because we cannot forget about some UTSA football that is going to be happening today, man.
Yeah.
UTSA is going to get underway at 6:00 today. They're going to play Temple Owls, which are 3-7. They've come on late in the season now, playing good football. This is not a pushover game. UTSA is going to have to come out and get it done, man, because if they want to stay bowl eligible, this is their make or break right here. If they do not win against the Owls, they are sure as hell ain't going to beat Army.
Yeah, they're not going to beat Army. But this is win and in, right? You need to win this game to get into the bowl game. We saw that stat from yesterday about how there are 2 teams in the entire college football, 130 teams out there. University of Washington, UTSA, the only teams that are undefeated at home and winless on the road. We just need to win one more home game.
Yeah.
If Jeff Traylor brings home the home wins, man, unless they play Houston, then they lose.
You know what we're gonna do next week? Because they were asking, are we gonna do giveaway Friday? You know what we're gonna do? Next week, if we do our Monday show, right? Which we're gonna do with Matt, we're gonna do with probably Sith Elias. We're gonna go ahead and have a giveaway Monday. We're gonna have a giveaway Tuesday, and we're gonna have a giveaway on Wednesday. Since we're gonna be off Thursday and Friday to spend that time with our families, and we'll see you guys on that following Monday. But yeah, man, that's what we're gonna do with the show next week. Because hey, we want to have some time off and enjoy the Christmas season here, the start of it with our families. And your girl's just coming back into town, so I'm sure you're going to want to go and take your kids and spend time with your Gabby girl there, and take her maybe downtown to go see the lights and stuff, man.
Yeah, got to go do something. Got her and baby Ava and Justin and all them. Sam Salinas reaches out and says, Cowboys so bad this year, they're getting flexed out of being broadcasted altogether. Well, you know what, Sam? They got flexed out of this show. How much Cowboy talk did we do today, Joe?
None.
How much Cowboy talk did we do this week?
I don't think very much, dude. Maybe they got a mention here and there.
We flexed them out, baby. We
Mike
flexed them
doesn't
out.
know UTSA. Sean Quintero, he's still mad you ain't gone out there.
My girlfriend's cute, dude. My girlfriend's kind of hot.
Maybe bring Chica over there to the UTSA tailgate.
What's that?
Bring her over to the UTSA tailgate.
She'll be in San Antonio next week. So she'll be in town next week. I'll be over there this weekend because so here's my day today. So I'm gonna have some lunch. I'm gonna work here for about an hour. Then I go around 12:30. I'm gonna head over to Cornerstone High School. I refereed 2 varsity basketball games today. 12:30 tip-off and a 2 o'clock tip-off. Should be done by 3:30. I have a flight at 6 p.m. today. Gonna fly into Houston. Go spend some time with the Chica for a couple of days. Then I'm going to go to Baton Rouge, pick up my daughter, drive on back Sunday and Monday. It's going to be a great weekend.
There you go.
Spend some time with my oldest and spend some time with the Chica.
Yeah, I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving next week, man. It's going to be one of those shows where we're going to, be excited because it's getting near the holiday season. So again, giving those giveaways, and we're going to have a big giveaway that we're going to do for the month of December here, seeing if we can partner with some other people here and make it big,
Tim Gonzalez reaches out to us in our YouTube stream. Says, outside of the Texas game, which game are you going to want to look at the most or watch the most? Well, it's got to be Indiana against Ohio State. I mean, yeah. Indiana 10-0, undefeated. Ohio State favored by 11 points against an undefeated Indiana team. That Indiana team is interesting because ESPN said that they have a 97% chance of making the playoff, but if they lose, it's 96%. They're in. So it's a meaningless game, but this would be a stamp out there of potentially having one of those, because there's 12 teams in the playoff, the top 4 get a bye. So really, this is a game right here to determine who gets the bye.
We got a $1.99 super chat incoming from Tex-Mex Frank. He say, puro pinche cowboy grito, dude. He paid for the grito, man. They love them grito.
Por presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
There you go. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun on Monday's show because again, we're gonna have probably Sith, and I'm gonna reach out, see if Matt Lerma can join us as well, and we can have a little back and forth talking about San Antonio Spurs, the weekend of college sports, and NFL talk and stuff. So we'll have some things to talk about, especially on Mondays. Covering the weekend of sports, that's always a good thing, man. It's exciting. And look at this, Mario Cavazos. Just limit yourself to 2 plates, Mike.
Dude, Mexican Junior saying the poor old Grito man's gonna throw his voice out.
And look at that. Drew Show says, and we all know the Grito Man is not what this thing longer. So let's have some respect, please. Okay, Mike, just joking.
Very nice, very nice. Well, wish me luck today.
Well,
I don't throw my back out because I refereed on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm refereeing again in about 2 hours. So wish me luck. It'll be a great weekend. Everyone have a fantastic time. We'll be back on Monday. Again, Matt Larimer will join Joe Garcia over here. And go Spurs, go, baby.
All right. We'll see you boys on Monday. Have a good weekend. We're out. Peace.